Part 3, we're going to talk about sourcing products, retailer secrets, and at the very end, it's only one screen, and I only put it in there because I know some people want to see it, understanding FBA Scout data, what we show, and why it's important. So there's always gold, retail, and online, and I put this slide at the end of the presentation as well, so you can kind of refresh and remember it. No one can corner this market, okay? Too many stores, prices change anytime. I mean, Karen, was it you talking, you went into a store and you just picked some up at the right time? Or
the butterscotch.
Yeah.
Just happened to be, and then when
You were at the right place at the right time. Someone could be driving all over her town looking for butterscotch and miss it. And she was there at the right place at the right time. But she had the information to make money with it. Prices are always changing. You can't be everywhere. You will run out of time to scout, and you will run out of money to spend before you run out of places to go. You really will. You guys are all nodding. You guys have already tried it. You know, you're like, should I stop at one more store on the way home? See? You think I don't know what you guys are thinking?
it's like M&M's.
Yeah. I can make $500 more if I stop at one more store, but I haven't fed the dog in 3 days. So, you know what I mean?
I think my record was 16 stores in one day that I bought stuff at.
Yeah. My average, when I hit stores from like open to close, it's about an hour per store if you know what you want to get. Because sometimes you got to get the guys out of the overhead. You got to get someone to, I mean, I don't know if you guys climb on the ladders at Home Depot. I just do it because I'm like, I got to get going. Climb up there and take the stuff down. But I used to work as a vendor for Home Depot, which I'll talk about. So it's okay. I won't hurt myself. So retail secrets, we're going to talk about different ways you can lower your costs. You can acquire more inventory than your competition, and you can work smart and not hard. And where did I learn all this stuff? Everybody knows Bosch power tools or Bosch dishwashers, Bosch washing machines, and like the Bosch stuff is almost too good. We priced ourselves out of the market on a lot of stuff. It's like, yeah, this is the best laser level, but it's like $3,000 more than the competition. So it was tough to sell, but we tried. I was a vendor for Home Depot and Lowe's. You may have seen vendors in there setting up products and talking to customers. So I was basically in a Home Depot every day for 5 years. So I started as a sales rep, territory manager, district manager, won Salesman of the Year in 2006. They gave me this fancy little ring that I only wear when I go to talk about working at Bosch, and I never wear it anywhere else. And in 5 years in Home Depot, you can't help but see the cycles. Product cycles. New product comes out, old product gets clearanced out. A vendor may come in and say, hey, we want the cordless drill category, and we're willing to pay for it. And we will pay you to clearance out our competition. So Home Depot clearances out. Home Depot's not losing a penny on that stuff because Bosch subsidized the sale of Makita. Don't tell anybody that. Seasonal cycles. Try to buy a fan in the wintertime in Texas. It's not possible. I had to go online to buy a fan because I had a hot room. I needed a fan, but no one would sell them. But there's different parts of the country. What's cold up here, it's warm in other places of the country. So you can match up these seasonal things. There's clearance items, and you see it over and over and over again. It happens all the time. There's nothing new in retail. They always come out with new products. So different ways you can lower your cost. If you're a reseller, you should already know that you don't pay sales tax. Who pays sales tax on items they resell? We won't make fun of you, I promise. One, you almost raised your hand a little bit.
I want to know how do you do that in like a Big Lots or a place like that where they go,
Act professional. If they won't do it, talk to a manager.
Okay.
But have your stuff together.
Yeah.
So go to your comptroller's office, Google where it is. If you live in a small state like Rhode Island, it's awesome because no matter what office you have to go to, it's close. And don't pay sales tax. They're going to give you a tax form. Tell them exactly what you want to do. They're going to know exactly what you're talking about. And you present it. And there's some stores like, I think, Ross, the TJ Maxx, and Marshalls. I don't think they take them. I really don't know why. Your hand up or just resting? Okay. Do they? I've heard some don't. Yeah, some stores will give you a card. Home Depot, you have to open an account with them. Then you just give them your phone number when you check out. There are different ways you can use coupons. You can use different discounts. Military, senior, student, always legit. Don't fool this stuff, okay? It's way too easy to make money on top of the table than to make money under the table. There's rewards, there's points, there's credit cards, there's store club cards, there's special buys. BOGO is buy one, get one. Chop Shop is a way where you buy a bundled pack and you break it down into smaller pieces. You can do rebates, and I got a good secret for you on rebates. You can do price matches between different retailers. Price drops is one big thing that a lot of people don't realize even exists, and it's really awesome. And lots of online tricks. So we'll breeze through a lot of these really fast and how to buy tax-free. Go to Comptroller's office, Google it, and you can find it, get a tax ID. Each store may handle tax-exempt purchases differently, so ask how they do it. If the employee at the checkout doesn't know how to do it, talk to a manager. This is a fairly common thing to do. Some stores don't do it very often, but they should be able to do it for you. And after they do it once with you, be nice to them because you may be shopping in that store again. And then the next time they'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I remember how to do that. Always be nice to people working at the stores. Some stores set up an internal account. Home Depot is you have to fax something into Atlanta, and then you're in their system forever, and it's easy to check out. There's state-provided paperwork that you can fill out. It's always changing. So, I mean, these things may change by next year. So learn your rules and the store rules, and if you go to different states, learn those state rules. That's another reason to have a good CPA. When to pay tax, some stores don't do this very often, so if you try to not pay tax, it like takes half an hour to check out and save like $3 in tax. Like, forget it, just pay the $3 and get out of there, or else you're paying yourself $6 an hour to stand in the line. So if it takes too long, bail on it. There are ways to request credit for sales tax later, but I'd prefer just not pay it up front. It's going to be a lot easier to not pay it than to try to get it back later. Another good reason to have a CPA. Implications of not paying sales tax. You have to pay attention to these rules. This isn't don't pay sales tax and then sweet, my costs are now lower than my competition's. Items have to be for resale. You're not the end user. The end user pays sales tax. Okay, that's what sales tax is for. You have to collect tax on sales on items sold within your state and remit that to the government. It sounds kind of like, man, that's like for big companies, right? It's really not that hard if you've ever done it. Keep track of it. If you're doing eBay sales, I mean, you can download your sales, sort it by state, pull it out. I mean, but eBay even let you collect it, and just divide it out in PayPal. So keep track, and remit it on time. Don't get hit with those late fees. I got the late fee from Texas so many times. It's my own fault, So I wasted money by being late, and it's like it's the late tax. You're late. You're getting taxed. I got taxed enough times that I'm not late anymore. So. Sound complex, it's not that hard, and get a CPA. Seasonal clearance, it's getting cold up here, so there's not a lot of summer stuff around here, but there are parts of the country where it's still warm, and they'll buy that summer stuff. Christmas tree shops, you guys ever go there? Oh, yeah. They got like those swimmy stuff and like the beer cooler floaties, and I sold a ton of that stuff. It was great. And I tell you, there are still people, they have indoor pool, and they want that beer floaty cooler thing, So this stuff sells all year round. Just because it doesn't sell here doesn't mean it's not selling other places in the country. And after Christmas, after any holiday, after Valentine's Day, candy go up in price, down in price. You can buy all this stuff on super clearance, and even if you hold it for a whole year, People are silly for, I got to have the Valentine's branded M&Ms. Me? No, I don't, but some people do, and they'll pay more for it. And if they want to buy it, I'm happy to sell it to them. So new models come in, old models clearanced out because they don't have space, and it's kind of hard for a retailer to sell an old model DeWalt drill next to a brand new model DeWalt drill. So they clearance them out. They want them gone. But that old model DeWalt drill still has a value online. You can still sell it. And there are plenty of people who break their DeWalt drill, and they look at the model number, and that's what they go to buy. They don't go look for the newest model. I like this drill. I want this exact model. That's what they search for. That's what they find. That's what they buy. And you can sell it to them. Exactly. They don't want to buy the whole kit. They just want what they either lost or need. They may just have a buddy with them. They need an extra drill. So that's all they want. Old store stock, they find stuff that they haven't accounted for in forever. They just clearance it out. I don't even want to see this stuff. Get it out of here. But it has value online. They're not going to sell it online. They just want it out of their store. So this is Thomas the Train Holiday Inflatable. Who's heard my story about Thomas the Train Holiday Inflatable? Yeah? Is it good? Is it all right? Yeah? I sold this, I guess we're on 3 years ago now, merchant fulfilled. And I put a huge markup on it. It was a Home Depot exclusive. You get it from Home Depot, or you get it from somebody who knew you could get it from Home Depot. You couldn't get it anywhere else. So we sold it on Amazon at an inflated price. Not to gouge anybody, but that was my price. You didn't have to buy it if you didn't want it. Sold a bunch of them. So the next year I was like, well, I'm going to buy a ton and send them to FBA. Because the first time I didn't send these to FBA. So I went to my guy at Home Depot, works at the pro desk. I said, hey, how many, what's the best price you can do on these? Give me like 75 of them. He said, well, I can take 10% off. There was no tax, and they just ordered them in. And they gave me a deal on them because it was a straight-up order. I paid before the product was even shipped to them. So it means a guaranteed sale. So they can take a less margin on an item like that. So I got my 75. I sent them to FBA. They all sold. And this is when we were traveling between Texas and Massachusetts. So I was in Massachusetts in like January. My guy calls. He says, you want to buy any more of these Thomas the Trains? Because they're on clearance. I'm like, it was after Christmas. Like, no. Well, how much? Because the margin's there. I'll buy practically anything. He's like, and actually, I was selling these for $150. They cost, I think they were $89, so I got like 10% off. They were clearanced out at $17. And I was like, well, 17, but yeah, I'll buy for 17. How many you got? He says, I got like 80 of them. I was like, how did you get 80 of these things? The Home Depot computer system saw my order and ordered more. They're like, oh, this store is ordering a ton. Let's order them more. So they sent 80 more to the store, and they sold none, because you either want this or you don't, So I get 80 of them sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, give me 80, but I'm in Massachusetts. Can you hold them for me? It's like, you pay for them, I'll put them in the overhead. I don't care. It's like, easy money. So put them in the overhead. March, we go back to Texas. I'm like, I got to pick these things up. But now what do I do with them? I got these, this is clearly a Christmas item. This isn't like Thomas the Train, Santa hat and the tree and everything. So what am I going to do with them? Well, I knew we'd be back to Massachusetts, so I was like, well, let me just send them to FBA. Even though it's March. Didn't expect them to sell till Christmas time. I sold 2 a month, every month, and then blew them out in November. I was like, really? Who's buying this? Christmas, and I can only imagine Christmas in July, or some Thomas themed party, and this was the best they could do. I don't know. There's not a lot of Thomas inflatables. You can search Amazon for them. So, we made out like bandits on these things. And it's just kind of being in the right place at the right time. We didn't intentionally manipulate the Home Depot computer, although maybe we should be doing that more often. It was just too easy. So, and this is seasonal and clearance, and just kind of the way they work with Amazon and FBA that you wouldn't expect. And I wouldn't have expected it. The only reason I sent them in is because I wasn't going to be in Texas to send them in at Christmas time. It was a better move for me to send them in, pay storage fees on them for a few months, and sell them at Christmas time. And they sold anyway, despite of what I expected. So it happens. So you find Christmas stuff, send it in early.
Those crazy parents have to have it.
Gotta have it. And maybe they just didn't know it was Christmas and didn't return it. I don't know. I still got one. I kept one, of course. I keep one of everything, Discounts, you can get a volume discount sometimes just for asking. You buy in bulk, you get a better rate. If you do direct purchase or a special order and it never touches the sales floor, a store manager who understands his business and understands margin is more likely to give you a better price because he knows he doesn't have to receive it and stock it and move it around 10 times and label it and then move it again and put it over here and pay someone to move it. They'll give you a better rate. And this one is real easy. You just go ask. Say, hey, if I buy this much, will you give me a better price? Yeah, okay. And there, you just lowered your cost. And sometimes it just takes asking. Active items, those are items that the store can order any amount they want. There are items that are called in and out items, what the store gets, that's what they get. They can't get any more. Those can be good because they're limited edition. But if it's active and it's a great product for you and no one else has found it, order a ton of it. Order a pallet. They might even send it straight to your house. We did a deal in Massachusetts from Texas for a Ryobi deal. Went through the Home Depot in Texas. Ryobi sent it to our house directly. They never went to Home Depot, directly to our driveway in Massachusetts. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how that paperwork goes through Home Depot. It would seem to be a few checks and balances were missing there, but they were happy with it. So sometimes you just simply have to ask. Coupons. Hey, Brian, I got a test for you. Well, not really a test, but a demo. Who knows what this is?
Moving kit.
Moving packet. Who picks these up every time they go to Home Depot? Ah. Well, on my way to Home Depot, So let's see what I can get for free, just for walking in.
70% on your next purchase at Lowe's.
That's budget, Geico. Here's Sears, 25% off any appliance, which appliances are expensive. This can be like $200. And 10% off anything else. If you go to Sears. This one is my favorite. I love having 5 of these in my wallet at all times. 10% off at Lowe's. Barcoded, dated on the back. This expires 2/15/12. And Home Depot will take this without even blinking. It's a direct competitor. So you go to Home Depot and spend $1,000. I just picked up a $100 bill on the way to the store. And the rest is kind of not really stuff you can use.
Where do you get that? The post office?
Walk in the post office, say, can I have a mover packer, please? And they say, here you go.
They say to me, you just want coupons? Coupons.
But they change the expiration date all the time. So they always put out new ones. This is just an easy way to get coupons. There are people who buy these coupons and sell them on eBay. You don't believe me? Go look. Look up Lowe's 10% coupon. And you'll find a whole bunch of these. And the guy will have 20 of them. And I don't know how he gets 20, then has 10 listings. It's 200 of these coupons. It's a lot of coupons. I only need one at a time. So that's one of the easiest ways to do it. 10% off your purchase. Say you spend $100,000, you get 10% off, you just save $10,000. That's a lot of money. And a $100,000 business is not some huge monster business. Costco, Sam's, BJ's, all these places take all these coupons. If you're a member of all their clubs, they send you coupons. Then you go to shop and someone left their coupon book in the cart. Am I right? Goes to BJ's. You know, my wife comes home with like 3 or 4 coupon books. Like she's like so excited. Like we never use all the coupons, you know, but just having them is like super cool. So special days, you know, especially at thrift stores, they do this stuff, military discount. You know, a lot of places get student discounts. So if you are a student, use it to your advantage, you know. But you got to be legit, okay? No fooling stuff on this. Rewards cards, you're spending the money anyway. You might as well get some points for it. So use a card that gives you the points. Use the store card if it gives you like cash back.
Big Lots is great with that.
Was it every 20 purchases or is it 10?
10 purchases are $20 or more.
Yeah, and you get 20% off. Yeah, your next purchase. Just for shopping anyway. You're spending the money anyway. Now you can get 20% off. This card here was like the awesomest card ever. This was 3% rebate straight up. They would send you Home Depot gift cards, 3% on what you spent every month. We had hundreds of dollars, like stacks of these cards that we just had to like go spend. Then they got rid of it, which made me mad. But you know they weren't making any money on it. What are you gonna do? Do I have to point this? It seems like I do. All right, special buys, buy one get one free. You know, if there's a grand opening at a store, or if it's like a Memorial Day sale, a 4th of July sale, they'll have special buys in and out. It's a special promo to get you in the door. They're probably not making any money on it. They're probably losing money on it. And once they're sold out, you can't get any more of them. So it works both ways. It's a good item because it's going to have some value to it. And once it's gone, your competition can't come in and get it and then drive the price down. When it's gone, it's gone. So it puts up a kind of a barrier to entry to competition coming in. An example of this was a DeWalt radio used to come with a free 18-volt battery. Those batteries are worth like $80. So you can take the battery out and sell it and sell the radio separate. You know, they're just going to give me $80. It's kind of giving me $80 off. You know, so I get a lower cost. I sell the radio for whatever I want. Buy one, get one free. These are kind of Home Depot examples. They used to sell grinders. Anybody that uses grinders for work, you burn through grinders. You use it up and you burn it out and you get another grinder. So they would sell grinders in a 2-pack. They'd be like, well, we know you're going to burn this one out, so you might as well take another one with you, right? Okay, all you did was kind of plastic wrap them together, so I'll just open them and sell them separately. But they give you like a free grinder. So they didn't do that very long. I think they kind of caught on to that. This is Chop Shop, and you can do this. We did this with combo kits. We were like one of the first ones to do it, and we made a ton of money doing this. Kind of where we got our credibility, I guess. But you can do this with any product, especially go to those club stores where they bundle like, an 8-pack of Neutrogena hand cream. You're like, really? You need that much hand cream? But, you can separate them out. You can do whatever you want with them, especially if they're sellable units. So the parts are worth more than the whole. Like a Chop Shop comes from like a car. They had to break up the car because the parts are worth more than selling the car by itself. But this isn't a negative connotation, Chop Shop. This is just how it works. So you get the lowest cost anyway. You break it into pieces, and you just kind of expand your margin that way. When you do this with any product, it doesn't have to be, combo kits. Combo kits work well because it's easy to see. You're like, okay, yeah, the batteries are separate. Yeah, the tools are separate. But you know what I'm talking about? Those kits, even at Walmart and Target, they sell a lot of health and beauty stuff, a lot of stuff in one kit. They're all separate units. They just bundled them all up for one sale. So here's an item that we bought. This was a rigid 24-volt combo kit, same battery that I showed you in that other example. We bought 120 of them on this one. We actually ordered 200 total, but my credit card wouldn't take the 200 all at once, so I had to break it down a little bit. And some people might look at this and be like, whoa, I can't do a purchase like that. You may not be able to do a purchase like this, but you may be able to do 12. You don't have to do this many. You may be able to do 10. The margin on this was unreal. This is a 3-piece kit. This was a drill, recip saw, flashlight, 2 batteries, charger, and a bag. You saw the price I got for the batteries. This is the price I got the whole kit. So I'm getting drills and recip saws and chargers and bags and flashlights for free. It's all pure profit. So that's why we bought so many of these, because the margin was so good. And I wanted to buy as many as I could. Way over your head? No?
Wait. So then did you buy UPCs to break that pieces out and like sell the whatever, the bag with its own UPC that you bought?
Right. I broke it all down, get it to FBA. Then I would make my own kits on eBay. The pieces by themselves would sell on FBA. There are tons of these things. So getting like a double sale wasn't going to happen. But we bought 200. We had 2 separate orders of 40 as well. And a lot of people, they may not be able to receive an order like this. This is like 10 pallets worth of tools. Right? Not everybody can receive 10 pallets, which is okay. You don't have to jump into 10 pallets. But the margin was so good, and I wanted as many as I could because this was a HomeDepot.com deal, which means other people could buy this. So I wanted as many as I could. And this is a good type of product where even if someone else is going to buy it, they may not buy it my volume. So even if like the first 4 months we all kind of fight each other on price, then they run out, I still got 150.
So then you had this shipped to your house, broke it up, sent it to
Yeah.
FBA wanted it to go. And,
Yep. That was a lot of work.
yeah, but the margin was there.
Exactly.
You're not talking about you made $5 a piece on it.
I wouldn't have bought these to make $5 a piece. Not a chance.
And it's certainly less work than shipping it to 200 separate buyers.
And that's just the kit. Each kit had drill, saw, light, battery, charger, bag. So 7 times 200, 1,400 different pieces. So yeah, I can't ship 14. Most of them sold on Amazon. Since we had so many, we used multi-channel fulfillment. If we didn't have that many, we wouldn't have done it. Rebates, everybody loves rebates. Getting that rebate back in the mail saying you're not eligible, you know. You get I don't like mail-in rebates because there's always that chance that they say, well, you forgot to dot your T or dot your I. It's like, come on. In-store instant rebates, I much more prefer because it's done and done. You got your stuff, they got their money. Then you have manufacturer rebates. And a lot of these things, they can be stacked, double-dipped, and exploited. And I say exploited just like Chop Shop, exploited in a good way. I'm going to go to Home Depot, and I'm going to buy that grinder 2-pack, and I'm going to use my lowest 10% coupon, and I'm going to cash in the rebate too. So my cost will be way lower.
Use a credit card with rewards and
Exactly. Exactly. And when I get my UPS bill, it automatically bills my other credit card that gets me points on UPS charges. You maximize all these little points out. Now, a lot of these things are going to say limit per household or limit per person. What do you do?
Bring your children.
Nope. Don't break the rules. If it's limit per household, what are you going to do?
Oh, household.
All right?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Call the manufacturer. Say, hey, I want to buy like 300 of these. You waive the exemption? Okay. Or they say no. If they say no and it's not a deal, it's not a deal. No big deal. So we've done these deals with Ryobi. We would say, we will buy this many if you waive the exemption. And they would say, okay. And we would have to pay the money, and they would send us a check for a rebate. And waiting for that check to come in is like, my wife's like, did the check come in yet? I'm like, let me email, But, we had everything in writing. So there was no way that they could back out of it. So price matches, a lot of stores will price match. And if they only price match, it's kind of like, really? That's it? Just match? I want match and beat. You know what I mean? Give me a good reason, because you're just going to give me the same price. I'm not going to drive across town so you match the price. That doesn't make sense to me. So a lot of stores will beat their competition. And if one store wants to take a loss, another store wants to take a loss and another 10%, I'm not going to stop them. So if the price is there, do it. Don't feel bad for the store. If the store's happy with the price, take it. And read your local flyers, learn your store's policies. And you may want to make a notebook for each store to be like, okay, this is how Target works. This is how Home Depot works. I know they price match these types of stores. They don't price match Amazon, stuff like that. Price drops. This one's really sweet if you've never tried this. They'll have a price drop guarantee. And they have this type of guarantee so that you don't buy it, come back, find it's lower price, yell at them, and they say, no, we're not going to drop the price. And you just go home and get it and return it and then buy it back at the store. They know you're going to do that anyway. So most stores, if it's 30 days or whatever their policy is, and you bring it in, just your receipt. You don't have to bring in the product. They will refund you the difference back to your credit card. And it's customer service. It's kind of fair. It was like $100 30 days ago, and now it's like 10. Come on. That is not cool, So keep your receipts, keep a folder, understand each store's policy. Say, oh, my 30 days at Target's coming up on that receipt. Call them, read the UPCs to them over the phone, check the prices. Whoa, that one dropped 50%. Go back to the store. Take your receipt. Get your money back. That's easy.
Chris, I've noticed lately that wherever I Google Walmart, I'm within 10 miles of them.
Yeah.
They won't even match each other's prices, but they'll beat a competitor's price.
The store will have if they want to match other Walmarts.
Yeah, but they don't. When you get into JCPenney or Target or any of these other places in your source, do they have the same price across all stores, do you know? Or?
It depends on the store. The way Home Depot works is they have an associate that works at Home Depot who's in charge of repricing. So when a new price comes down, it goes to it's called an IMA, and they have to go verify the counts. So it says, okay, you're dropping the price on this, so print new labels, and you should have 6 of them. Until that happens, that price is not dropped in that store, even though that price is the new price. Now, if they process that on a computer and don't put the price on the sticker, on the product, the price is still in the computer. So if you know ahead of time, you can go to the store and it says $200 on the shelf, but you know it's $50, so you go check out. Until it's processed at that store, it's not active. There are other stores where it gets processed at the home office, and every store in the country has the new lower price, whether it's labeled or not. So that's why it's important to learn each store. And we went to Target today, and you saw the little tags on the store. It said 70% or 70. That 70 means it's 70% off. You go to Toys R Us. If the price ends in a 0 or an 8, it's a clearance item. Little things like that, you just have to learn from experience and going to the stores and being nice to people and asking questions, and they'll tell you. If you're nice to them and tell them exactly what you do, they'll be nice to you and say, oh, you should totally come back because electronics goes on clearance next week. They want to sell you stuff. I got a Toys R Us in New Bedford where they really want to sell. When it's clearance time, they want the stuff out of there. They're like, please come buy a bunch of stuff. Please buy some stuff. I'm like, if it's good, I'll buy it. I'll be happy to buy it. But thanks for telling me, I'll be in. So, yeah, I mean, they're great. So keep an eye on your price drops. And you can stack and exploit these things just like we talked earlier. Stack rebates, store discounts, and coupons. And tell them what you want. They want to sell you stuff. When you think about it, they want to sell boxes. Every store sells boxes. Don't think about what specifically they sell. They sell boxes. They want to sell you boxes. You want to buy boxes. So it's a good relationship. And keep it related to the numbers. Tell them, I'll buy this product for this price. And if they can help you out on it, if they can make it work for you, great. If not, don't get sold. Don't let them convince you, say, well, this product here is really good. No, it's not. If it has margin, the numbers there, it's really good. So don't get sold on stuff. It's always a numbers game. So when you do these deals and negotiate them, it's never personal. My Home Depot guy called me, hey, I got this. Is it good? And I run the numbers, and I'm like, no, it sucks. We're not doing that. It's no good. At this price, I'll do it. And he goes back, sees if he can do it. And he comes back, says, yeah, we can do that price. I said, then it's a deal. It's just numbers. We're not trying to sell each other anything. Online tricks. You can Google coupon code plus a website or Google discount plus a website. There are a lot of websites out there that will keep track of coupon codes you can use when checking out for different stores. You can just ask. If you're online, they have like those email, they have like those little chat pop-up windows that say, can I help you buy something? You're like, no, leave me alone. Talk to them. Say, hey, I want to buy these. You got a coupon code? Give me 10% off if I buy today. You'd be surprised. They'll come back and say, yeah, absolutely we will. HomeDepot.com used to do that all the time. Get 10% off. Just give you a code. It's a code that works for 24 hours. And if you're spending a lot of money, you could be saving hundreds or thousands of dollars. We already talked about these two sites, Fat Wallet and Slick Deals, for finding different deals. Retailer secrets, when you learn how, when, and why items are clearanced, and how to get all the store's inventory, not just the local store, but the other stores in your area without driving all around and going in, looking the overhead, and finally asking somebody. You want to work smart when your competition's working hard. So this is how you get all your hands on all the inventory. It's basically keeping it simple. You want to find great products and not just good and get a ton of them. I would rather buy fewer products but a ton of them than to buy like a little of a ton of different products. You know what I mean? It's easier to manage just a few SKUs. It's easier to list one item 100 times than 100 different items. So check the computer. Every store has a computer system. We checked it today. Who bought the Spider-Man thing? Yeah. Did you find someone and they checked the computer, or they just find them somewhere else? They knew where they were. Yeah. So instead of checking the computer, she checked with an associate. We found an item that was selling for, $48. It's costing us $14. We found one, so we went and asked somebody, and they had two more in a different part of the store. And we would never have found them. We also checked the computer. There might be more than those three. And they're all linked together. So you can say, well, how many are at the other Target? And they'll say, oh, they got 12 of them. So you can go over to that Target. Or they say, well, that one's got 12, this one's got 0, and that one's got 14. So you don't waste your time going to the 0. Let your competition drive to the 0 and find out there's nothing there. So, I mean, they'll have more. They'll have them in the back. They'll have them in the overhead. They'll have them in like the totally wrong department where they're never, ever going to sell. Anybody sell those GeoTrack high-flying air plane things? Is that just me this year? No? These things were $90. They were selling at Toys R Us for $30. I knew this store had them, and we couldn't find them. They were way over in like this other aisle of the store, not even related to anything like kids' toys related, which is hard to believe in Toys R Us, but it was like the cribs and stuff, And if it's an active item, order more. Order a ton of them. All right, so we talked about this already. Check other stores. They're sold out. They'll send customers to other stores. They want to help you. You say, hey, I want to buy this stuff. Most people are not going to be like, well, if you don't buy from my store, I'm not going to help you. They'll help you. Say, but know your stores. Know that there's 4 Targets in your city. Kind of know what street they're on. So you can say, hey, what's on the Smith Street Target? Can you check that one? If you can kind of talk their language, they're going to be more nice to you. They're not going to be like, can you tell me where the other ones are? You got to work with them a little bit, When I lived in Irving, in Texas, there were 60 Home Depots within a 1-hour drive of my house. Which is like, really? 60 Home Depots? As like a tool rep, it was like, dude, did you sell more stuff this year? And like, no, because you keep opening new stores. So all my stores sell less and less, We sold more total, but not at each store. So, if there's 60 stores, I want the 15 that have the most inventory. I'm not going to just go to the closest. I'm going to drive 20 there, 20 there. I'm not going to go to the 2. I'll even pass up a 4 or 5 to go to the 13. There's only so much time, you know. So put your time where it's best spent. And don't go check. That drives me nuts. Go check. You got this? No. I did that last night. I went to BJ's because I needed a projector. Thought BJ's would have it, right? Because they have all the home theater. They don't sell anything. I drove all the way to BJ's to say, you got a projector? And they said, no. I was so mad. I was like, totally could have called. But just assume they had it, you know. So, you know, even I'm guilty of not using my own advice. So there are times to call ahead, all right? And you can probably guess the next slide. It's called call ahead no. Call ahead yes is to tie up inventory. If you can pay for it over the phone, that's the best because then no one else can buy it. If they just kind of will hold it for you behind the desk, maybe, might be there when you get there, might not be. But if it's paid for, you got the best bet that it's going to still be there when you get there. You can verify on-hand quantities because if Home Depot says they have 12, don't be surprised they have 0 because it's Home Depot, all right? I was in Home Depot for five years. They will lose 12 of stuff. They will have 12 of things stolen. They will receive 12 of something that they didn't receive. It's their inventory system's it's awesome, to say the least.
I used to do their inventories. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, they still run on DOS, which is great. So verify on-hand quantities and verify the in-store price. Make sure the price is what you expect it to be. Don't drive all the way over there. Get all the way to checkout, and it doesn't ring up at what you expect. You got to put it all back. Ask me how I know this. All right. I've done all these things. I made all these mistakes. So. All right, call ahead no. Come on. There we go. Deals that are too good. Don't tip off everybody. Because the store personnel, store employees, they may say, oh, yeah, that is only 99 cents for a laptop. Yeah, we'll hold it for you. No, they're not. Are you kidding me? So this happens a lot with technology items I found, by listening, reading Fat Wallet and Slick Deals. If there's like, a laser leveled kit from Home Depot, everybody on Fat Wallet's not going to run out and be like, sweet dude, I got this $300 laser level. I don't know what to do with it, because those guys are all buying for themselves. There's not all resellers. So don't call on deals that are too good. They may just alert their friends, if they know it's a really good deal. And they may say it's a price mistake. They say, we're not going to sell it to you. And that's their decision. You can't force them to. We did a deal where they sold, it was a Ryobi 2-pack of batteries and a Ryobi double charger. And it was the only time they ever sold a double charger. And they sold it a year prior to that. And it was sold for, what was it, $69. And they clearanced it out half price, $34.50. And they brought it back, but they didn't up the price. So it came back in the stores at $34.50. And every store had like 40 of them because it was like coming up in their ad. So I went and bought them all. And of course I used 10% coupons on every one of them. Didn't pay any tax. The last store I got to, they said, no, this is a price mistake. You can buy one. And it was like $9.55 at night. I was like, whatever. I'll buy one. And I came back the next day and bought the rest of them. But, I wasn't going to call ahead on that. But I knew what the price was going to be. And they could have raised the price. And if they didn't want to, they want to say it's a price mistake and not sell it to me, I can't force them to sell it to me. So I don't get all bent out of shape and get in a fight. I tried. I had a store, Father's Day. Father's Day, they always do tool promotions for Father's Day. This was a buy one, get one. You buy this Black & Decker kit, you get to pick a free tool to go with it. And of course, I want to pick the tool that has the highest resale value because it's going to be free, right? I want to use my 10%. This store has them all up in the overhead. This is the day before Father's Day. And I say, I want all those, and you don't have all these in stock, but if you order these are the tools that I want, and I don't care when I pick them up, whenever. I'll pay for it now. Which the other stores did, no problem. This store was like, no, that's our Father's Day promo, and you can't buy them all. I was like, Father's Day's tomorrow, dude. You're not going to sell all these today. It's our Father's Day promo. You can buy one. I was like, well, it's not even worth it for me to buy one. I mean, really? Tomorrow's Father's Day. I was trying to kind of make him see that he was kind of being silly. He said no, he wouldn't do it. Next time I was in that store, they still had them up in the overhead. And now it's after Father's Day. And now if you want to sell them, you got to pay full price for that extra tool. Good luck selling this stuff. You had a buyer, and he turned me away. And I can't force him to sell, so I moved on. There are other stores, So you'll run into that, and don't worry about it. It happens. So here's a buy and hold strategy that we talked about a little bit earlier. Retail clearance deals, they've been picked up by a lot of different people. There's national chain stores. They go clearance on Home Depot. Other people can get this stuff. So sometimes you want to buy and hold because this artificial spike in supply is going to come in. It's going to cause an artificial dip in price to the point where you may not be at a level you want to be at. Your margin's not there. It's not profitable. Wait it out. Time will go by. Supply will go away. Price will go back up. So irrational competitors, you're going to deal with them. But let them do their thing. Kind of laugh at them. Because I'll show you an example on the next page of totally irrational. It's a Ryobi auto hammer, and I got a picture of it on the next page. We bought 200 of them from HomeDepot.com. This was a Memorial Day sale, advertised, went out in their email. 1988. This originally sold for $100 on Home Depot stores. I don't know why they chose 1988. They could sell for a lot more. They would have sold them all anyway, but they wanted 1988. Tax-free, free shipping. A lot of other people did the same thing. I put a ton in my cart, and this was a space limitation. Because I knew other people were going to buy this, I wasn't going to send them in right away. And if I got like 1,000 of these things, I would have no place to put them. So I got 200 of them. Kind of made, actually, I think I got 250. I think they got the receipt on the next page. As soon as everybody got them shipped and received, the price went all the way down. They were selling for about 70, $80 on Amazon. They got beat down to $27.95, which when you have a 1988 cost and this is your Amazon sale price, you're making like $1. Really? But it's like everybody saying, I'll make 10, I'll make 9, I'll make 5, I'll make 2, I'll make 1. Really? Okay, I'll see you guys in a few months. Okay, so I held all mine, held them for about 4 months, and I sold them all for $85. And you see, I did have the number wrong. About 250 of these things, and this was the total price, and this was the regular price. And here's the big fat discount that they gave me. They gave me free shipping. They did charge me sales tax, but I get sales tax refunded through a very complicated process with HomeDepot.com. But they did send it all back. So I'm getting all these things for under $5,000, so about $20 a piece. Sent them all in. I sold for $85. I made $50 a piece on them. My competitors made $1 a piece on them. Why? Because I just held on to them. So don't chase the next sale. These are what these Ryobi guys were doing. They're chasing the next sale. They're chasing it down to 20. I got to be the next sale. Really? Who cares who the next sale is? You want to be the next sale? Fine. But you sell at that price. I'm not selling at that price. There's no point. So this is what we talked about earlier. Prices rise and fall. Don't get in pricing wars. And don't try to see who can make the least amount of money. That's what a lot of these sellers are doing. I'll make the least. Congratulations. I'm not playing that game with them. There's no point in playing that. Ultimate backup plan, and I don't recommend doing this, and I say that down here, don't make a habit of this. Items are purchased at resale. You have a receipt and a return policy. As long as you use the return policy and then follow their rules, you can return stuff. So this is kind of an easy business to get into. It's pretty risk-free. But I say don't make a habit of this because you want the stores to like you. They want, you want them to say, oh, here they come. Let's see what we can help this guy find. But it's just a safety net as you get started. So if you do buy something that turns out it's not what you expected, market falls out on it, you can return it. As long as it's unopened, exact same condition, and within their return policy, you're really not going to see a bunch of pushback from the stores.
If you abuse it, some stores do refuse to sell you things.
Yeah, they keep track of how many times you return stuff. Who knows someone who did the walk of shame with Missoni stuff at Target? Returned Missoni stuff. No? I heard about people online. They bought the Missoni, and it was so valuable to them that they wouldn't even list it. And then the market fell out, which, of course, everybody knew it would. And then it was not profitable enough. They didn't know what to do with it. They returned it to the store.
What's a Missoni?
It's like this Target
Missoni was
brand.
A designer brand.
Yeah.
That was, for some stupid reason, they decided to sell it to Target.
Everybody wanted it. Demand was through the roof. Supply was fairly constant. Prices were outrageous. And I told people as soon as it hit Facebook, I was like, sell it, sell it, sell it. Sell it now. Get paid and move on. Missoni's not going up in value. This is Target Missoni. This isn't like, was it Italian or something? Yeah. I'm not like a designer guy, okay? So anyway, I call that the walk of shame, especially on a Missoni. Really? Buy it, sell it. Don't hold on to it. It's not going to increase in value. So there's always gold, and I say this at whether you're at retail stores or you're at a thrift store. If you're thorough and you learn categories and you understand how to use the data that you have and you understand sales rank and you understand long tail, you'll find there's always good products wherever you go. It's hard to really leave somewhere without finding something. I'm going to go through thrift stores pretty quick because I think you guys are getting kind of tired. Thrift store, CDs, DVDs, VHS tapes, and games, and books. I didn't even put books on here. Books is kind of the easy one you find at thrift stores. A lot of scanners do just books. So it's good news for people who do other categories. And when you know what to look for in these other categories, it's really pretty easy. You don't even have to need a scanner.
Go to thriftingwiththeboys.com.
Thrifting with the Boys. Put a promo in there. You guys got your Facebook group is great. CDs that are not on iTunes. Who knew that there was music not on iTunes? A lot of artists are not on iTunes. You didn't know that? Come on, you knew that. Garth Brooks, the hits. If you want Garth Brooks, you cannot buy it from iTunes. So if you want to put it on your iPhone or your iPod, you can either buy some cover songs or you can go buy a CD and rip it. Remember ripping? It wasn't that long ago, right? But that's how you got to get this. Bob Seger, AC/DC, a lot of these. And look, this is a used CD. You could probably buy even new. For Garth Brooks, the hits. Who has this and has thrown it out since having it? you know, or is giving it away.
I used to work at Sam Goody. I had like a stack.
Yeah, you threw away $25 bills. You know? Was that? Oh, I thought that was Jason with the pug. VHS. Who loves VHS? It's
I
like,
got VHS in my car if anybody wants to try it. I got some. I'm moving, I got tons of stuff to give away tonight.
most scanners skip all VHS because most VHS is worthless, but if you learn the category, you can get paid. You can look at what to look for. Rule of thumb, if you've heard of it, don't even bother, okay? If you've heard of it. If you haven't heard of it, then you can check it. And some VHS has not been released on DVD, so buyers only have one choice. Here's a couple quick little things here. If it's got subtitles, scan it. Stuff you've never heard of, not the Star Trek, not Star Wars, X-Files. Box sets, sometimes. Well-known star in a movie you've never heard of. It's like original Elizabeth Taylor stuff. You know, it's like not the popular stuff. Stuff without a barcode, which means it's pre-70s. It could be valuable because no one else is going to look it up. So it's going to sit there and sit there and sit there, and you can find good stuff because everyone's just going to pass over it. Good Times Video, don't even bother. CNN Cold War 8-piece, used from $90. You can find these at half-price books. You can find them at the thrift store. It's just, people are going to pass right over that. You're like, VHS? I don't buy VHS anymore. CNN's Millennial box set. These start, $25. And these are good ranks. This isn't on DVD. And this is just searching the VHS category for items $50 to $100, the best selling. I never heard of any of these movies, right? But they're selling $50, $64, $59, $97, $79. I would have thought this was on DVD, but apparently it's not. If you want that, you have to buy it from them. Kids VHS. All right, I've got kids. All right, I got a 4-year-old who loves cars, because he's a boy. He loves cars. We have bought the Cars DVD 3 times because he has to change it himself. I got to change it. I change it. And we scratch it till it's not playable anymore, and then we buy it again. And if I could get Cars on VHS, he would watch it like crazy. He doesn't care about 1080p. He doesn't care about HD. He just wants to be able to change it himself. That's all he wants to do. Parents have figured this out, and I believe there's going to be a strong kids market for kids VHS moving forward, because parents are going to be like, I'm not buying that DVD again. You can have VHS, and you can build a Ford out of them when you're done, and give them. They're so tough. You really can't break them, And kids don't. They just want to be able to do it themselves. So I see a good opportunity in kids VHS. Come on. Here's just a quick example. This thing sells for $14. You can find these at the thrift store all the time. People say, "No, that's worthless." Barney on VHS? You kidding? I don't make up the prices. The market sets these prices. Exact one? Yeah. They're up $14. Seasonal VHS, Christmas, Halloween, Easter, Valentine's, Thanksgiving. People buy these things because they remember their childhood, they want it for their kids, and it's not available on anything else. So they buy it for them. So you think, oh, I haven't sold any of these forever. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, yeah, it must be Valentine's Day because my Valentine's Day Charlie Brown just sold. So they can have a high sales rank when they're out of season, but then when they sell, the sales rank goes up. That's why you have to understand sales rank. It's out of season. That's why it's terribly high. It'll still sell at Easter time. Don't worry about it. So lazy scanners, how not to be one. Most scanners are lazy, and I spelt it out in all capital letters. This is great news for non-lazy scanners. Lazy scanners go to book sales. Who scans at book sales? Anybody? A couple of people? They only go on the first day. They're only there for 2 hours, right? Am I right? Then they all leave, and it's like you're there by yourself. You're like, where'd everybody go? Yeah. I went to an Arlington, Texas sale. They had over 100,000 items. And I could scan pretty fast. And this one I had a database scanner. And you could count. And you're like, oh, I'd scan over 2,000 items in 2 hours. That would take 50 of me scanning at my pace to even get anywhere close to all these items. And people scan for 2 hours and leave. It's like, there's tons of stuff here nobody has scanned. There's books under the tables that people don't think about. The next day, they bring out new boxes of books and fill up all the holes of all the stuff that people bought. But nobody comes back except the non-lazy scanners. So I don't mind other scanners being totally lazy. They do it all the time. It's great. They don't do manual ISBN searches. They don't punch in any numbers. They only do barcodes. And if you're the only one doing it, you get all the good books. FBA Scout even has voice input. If you don't want to do your little thummy thing, you can speak it in. And it'll find it for you.
1, 2.
We don't have to do it like that. Do it undercover, So lazy scanners and books. One, they're not using FBA Scout, and they have a limited database. They don't have all book listings. They don't have the newest books. They don't have current prices. So they could be scanning items, and they'll be like, oh, this isn't even in the catalog. I don't even have any information for this. So they put it back. But then you have information because you use, FBA Scout is live, so it has everything. If they're not using FBA, they have limited space and limited time to fulfill orders. This is the same stuff we talked about earlier, limitations of your business. So they can't buy as much as they want. I'll buy boxes and boxes of books. I'm going to send it all to FBA. But if I live in a little studio apartment or a one-car garage, I can only put so many more books in my inventory, right? So these other scanners, they have that limitation. You know, they're going to just go after the best books, leaving behind plenty of good books. They're going to say, oh, that's not good enough. Really? $20 for 50 cents? That's not good enough? Okay, I'll buy it. You leave it behind, and I'll buy it. Real easy pickings. So you follow other scanners, and you learn what they buy, and you learn what they don't buy. And then you know what kind of, you can tell if someone's an FBA seller or not based on what they leave behind. It really is. It's that easy. So they don't understand sales rank. They're maybe only buying under 1,000 rank or 1,000,000 ranked books, or I've heard a lot of places say only buy under 500,000 ranked books. Like, really? That's like 6 days, right? Hasn't sold in 6 days, and you're saying you're not going to sell it because it's got a bad sales rank? There's so much money to be made in these books. I mean, it doesn't bother me when my competition says, well, I don't buy over 500,000. Like, good. I will follow you all day, every day. We talked about this earlier. Book that hasn't sold in 11 days goes up to 1 million. And a lot of people stop way short of that, 500,000. They don't understand the long tail. They don't understand there's more money in the tail than in the best sellers. They just want that quick turn type of book. It's fine with me. They leave behind a lot of good stuff. So we talked about this at the beginning. No one can corner the market. There's too many stores. You run out of time to scout, and you run out of money to spend before you run out of places to go. FBA Scout Data explained this like the last thing on the list, wasn't it, or the syllabus? This is Toy Story 3. I use this as an example because if you use my example in any competitive service, you will see exactly why we are really good and our competitors are really bad, okay? Because doing this is difficult. When you have 183 offers, especially when the FBA offers are higher than the used offers, and every price that you see on here is FBA net, meaning price plus shipping. Not just books and media where adding shipping is easy, like $3.99, $2.98. Every item that you scan will show you the FBA net price. But when you use a competitive service that only shows you the lowest 10 prices, which is what Amazon will give you when you call their API, they're going to show you the lowest used prices. And that's it. These aren't in the lowest 10. This isn't in the lowest 10. These aren't in the lowest 10. So if you scan this, who is here? You had it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You scan this product, you will have no idea if Amazon's selling it. You'll think you're the only FBA seller, and that's not good enough information to make a buying decision. This will help you make great buying decisions, and it will help you avoid making poor buying decisions. It's double, okay? If you make a poor buying decision, it's just as bad as missing a good opportunity. So even over here, this net payout is the amount you will receive if you sell it for this price. Because FBA fees are fixed, so you're going to have a higher percentage on a low dollar item than on a $100 item, okay? Because it's all kind of a sliding scale. So you can say this, okay, I spent $1 on this item, and I'm going to get $5.88 out of it. That's good enough margin for me. Or it's going to be at a book sale, and it's $5. You're like, $5 for $5.88? Why bother? But if you don't have that, you're like, well, how much is it going to be if I sell for $8.64? I don't know. But even these two sellers, in my opinion, are too low. They're both going to sell. Not a problem. It's ranked 163 in DVD. Then it's going to come back up to $10. And people are buying these, spending more than the used merchant fulfilled. And these FBA sellers have figured it out. I still think they should be pricing higher, but I guess they may think they have to be lower than the new price, and you definitely have to be lower than the Amazon price. So you can use the buy button. Anything that you buy will save to a list. Your list will be down here with the total number you bought, the total list price, the average rank of those items. If you swipe up from here, you'll be able to see your list, review it. You can edit it, recheck any items. If you don't have a scan fob, you can press right here. It'll open up the Red Laser app, which is actually a very high-end barcode scanning app that uses the camera.
Owned by eBay.
I know, it's funny, right? I don't know if they realized what we were going to do with it when we licensed it from them. And this is obviously the iPhone or iPad version. And you can manually type anything in. Just tap up here. It'll bring up the keyboard. You can type in a number and then make a buying decision. But this gives you all the information, the weight. So if it's real heavy, you're going to make less. The rank, you're going to, what we talked about, understanding sales rank, the department that it's in. So the sales rank is relative to the department. Total number of people selling it. So you can tell if a lot of people think it's a good item or not. If it's a book and it's like $150 used and there's one offer and it's like 4 million ranked, that is not a $150 book. 150, is that what I said? Okay. It's not. There's only one offer. He's making the price up as he goes. I did that with a book because I wanted to read it. I put it for $275. Someone else found it. I was the only seller. Someone else comes in, $274.50. Really? I just put that price on there so nobody would buy it. But if someone actually bought it for $275, then yeah, you can have it before I read it. They're trying to undercut me a little bit. It's like, my price is unrealistic, dude. Okay, you're not going to get this price. But maybe you got it. I haven't checked on it in a long time. So, any questions on FBA Scout Data? It's a free download, iPhone, Android. You can try it out. No? Anybody?
If you, let's say you bought that
Probably $9.95. I don't want to be because these guys are too low, and we're only talking $1.30, but $1.30 on 860 is a good percentage.
If you're the only FBA item, how many dollars above the merchant fulfilled can you be and still get the buyback?
It depends.
Or anything?
There's two things that you're kind of asking. How high can you go and still get the buy box, and how high can you go and still get the sale, and that they're both kind of up for debate. It would depend on the item, and then some items you can get a lot more, and you go too high, you're not going to get it.
You're not going to get the buyback.
Right, it's possible, but there's no known algorithm for it.
But there's more involved in determining the price, because in this particular scenario, you have something that's available new for $11.73. If you start pricing it much above $10, let's say, somebody looking to buy it's going to say, well, why should I pay $10 for a used one when I can get a new one for only a couple bucks more? So you want to take
But
those
on this
types
one,
of things
you'd
into
get it
consideration.
because of this, because they're selling hundreds. If this was a higher rank, you'd have to be more conservative,
Right.
and you got to be under this.
Right. So
that's
it's why
you gotta look-
It's a combination of
All the data points, you got to put them all together, and you look at the quantity. This guy has 2 in very good condition. This guy has 1. At a rank of 163 in DVDs, these are going to sell that day, and then this guy's going to be the lowest price. So you got to look at the whole picture. This is a snapshot in time.
And what does offers mean? That's how many have sold?
This is a number of different people selling it.
Oh, those are okay.
Chris, on that new price, is that $11.73 plus $3.99?
No, that's the net price. We add everything together, so you just have to do one calculation in your head.
But a lot of the customers, when they're Prime, they'll just hit that Prime button, they'll never see that new and used.
Yeah, I would bet you could sell this for a price in between $13.49 and $11.73. There will be buyers who actually pay more to get it used, but get it through FBA. And it's not going to be everyone. You may have to wait 10, 20, 40 sales for people buying these to get yours. It's whatever strategy you want to take. It's like a fast nickel, slow dime kind of thing.
Like that's probably going to move forward.
Yeah, because of the rank, you could be more creative with it, and you'll get a higher price. But these guys, to me, are repricing against each other, and they're taking a lower price, which is their freedom to do. But on a rank like that, there's no point in chasing the next sale. It's going to sell. Don't worry about it. All right. 3 hours and 30 minutes.